This is VOA News. I'm Tommy McNeil. The top U.S. diplomat in South Africa is accusing it of giving arms to Russia for the war in Ukraine. AP Washington correspondent Sagar Meghani.
Ambassador Reuben Brigety says the U.S. is certain weapons and ammunition were loaded onto a Russian cargo ship secretly docked at a South African naval base in December. The South African government acknowledges a Russian vessel did dock there, but did not say why, and criticized Brigety for going public, saying there was a deal for U.S. intelligence services to provide any evidence for use in South Africa's own investigation. The government there says it has a neutral position on the war in Ukraine, but recent displays of closeness with Moscow have raised accusations it's effectively on Russia's side. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
Asylum U.S. government officials are warning of the ramifications at the southern border with Mexico starting Friday after the expiration of a pandemic-era policy known as Title 42 that kept many out of asylum seekers. As VOA Steve Herman explains, authorities are bracing for what to expect and will be a tremendous strain on personnel and facilities from a surge of migrants crossing the border.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, just hours before the lifting of a policy that blocked migrants from entering the country during the coronavirus pandemic, made a direct appeal to those thinking of or already heading north.
Do not risk your life and your life savings only to be removed from the United States if and when you arrive here.
The Biden administration faces criticism from both the political left, which says the government is now taking too harsh an approach to migration, and conservatives, who predict overwhelmed and unprepared U.S. officials will resort to a mass release of migrants.
VOA Steve Herman, this is VOA News. The top UN human rights body has adopted a resolution concerning mounting civilian deaths and rights abuses in Sudan since a bloody conflict erupted between Africa's two top generals last month. Member states of the Human Rights Council narrowly passed on Thursday the resolution, with 18 states voting in favor, 15 against, and 14 other nations abstaining. The main co-sponsors of the draft resolution were all European, in addition to the United States. Britain is reportedly preparing to designate the Wagner Group, a Russian private army that is deeply involved in the invasion of Ukraine, as a terrorist organization. Henry Ridgwell reports from London.
Russia's Wagner Group, a private army, is spearheading much of the fighting for the Ukrainian city of Bakhmut. Many of its mercenaries have been recruited from Russian prisons. Wagner is blamed for widespread atrocities in Ukraine, torturing and killing prisoners of war and civilians, including children, accusations it denies. Members of the group, including its leader Yevgeny Prigozhin, are already subject to US, European Union and British sanctions. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, London.
Meanwhile, the Biden administration has approved an $8.5 billion sale of Chinook helicopters to NATO ally Germany. The approval comes as the war in Ukraine continues to tax the military stocks of Western countries, but is not directly related to the conflict. Israeli aircraft destroyed 3 houses apparently belonging to members of Islamic Jihad in northern and southern Gaza. Government's claims have been rejected by those who live in those properties. AP correspondent Karen Chamas.
Children gathered by the rubble of a destroyed building in the enclave's southern city of Khan Yunis. It belonged to Jihad al-Agha, where she said she lived with her disabled husband and children. Another airstrike at a sprawling housing complex in Khan Yunis destroyed the upper floor of one of the buildings, where Israel said a senior commander was killed along with 2 others. The airstrike caused damage to 3 surrounding buildings. Resident Abdallah Hamid described an abnormal light and 2 explosions, and then finding his children crying in shock. When I reached them, I found them covering themselves with bed covers and screaming out of fear. Meanwhile, rocket fire towards southern Israel continued, even as Egypt pressed on with attempts to broker a ceasefire. I'm Karen Chamas.
More at voanews.com. I'm Tommy McNeil, VOA News.
Thank you for watching. Can you do me a favor? Please leave a comment in the comment section below. That would really help. Thank you, and see you again soon.